Hey there, Leo. Welcome to a reading for the week of September 26th. We're going to jump right in here, Leo, and we are going to do what I'm calling a 3-3-3 spread. It's just going to be like my usual 3-row reading, and then we're going to clarify it 2 times. So kind of like 3-3-3. I don't know. It kind of made sense when I came up with the idea, right? But then at the end, we're going to pull 3 yes or no question cards, and that's going to be that, Leo. So let's see what is going on for you at this time, Leo. Looks pretty good. You have the Emperor and the Empress showing up here. The Empress, the Emperor right here. So definitely could be a divine counterpart that you're dealing with. You have this romance card. It says, this rose card, it says romance is in the air. You have this apple. It says temptation will test you. So I don't know what that's about, but I do feel like there is love coming in for you here. I don't really feel there's like bad temptation or anything like that because, I don't know, this reading looks really good to me. And so hold on. Sorry, I just want to make sure this doesn't turn off, but I don't really feel like there is temptation or anything like that. I mean, obviously, if, don't be tempted by someone else, but, I feel like this is pretty good. You have this Empress card, the Ace of Cups, and the Page of Wands. I feel very excited about this energy as well. I kind of feel some of you, if you are meeting someone new, that it could be like, this gives me exploring vibes. Page of Wands can kind of represent exploring a new person, learning about a new person. For those of you that are already in a connection, I mean, you could be exploring, more about this person. You could be like spending time with their family or learning their family or kind of going deeper into the relationship as well. If this is not love, even if you have love in your life, the Page of Wands, I feel, has a very good energy right now to like explore new ideas. You even have the 7 of Cups here. 7 of Cups can be a little bit of overthinking energy. There seems to be a little bit of overthinking this week for people in general. That 7 of Cups says, you need to like pick one thing and make it happen. And so here you go. Ace of Cups. One of your first cards here basically says, pick a cup and make it happen. Ace of Cups is all about your emotions overflowing and being really happy. So that's what I would choose here. You also have the Empress. I mean, this could also say with that temptation card, like if you're not trying to get pregnant, I would be careful here, Leo, for sure. I feel like a very fertile energy kind of like floating around here. So, if you're not trying to get pregnant, I would definitely be careful, but I feel like you could also just be pregnant with good ideas, even if you can't get pregnant, obviously. I feel there's a lot of good ideas here. The Queen of Pentacles, here's the thing, is I'm going to show you this right here. You have the Empress to the Queen of Pentacles to the 7 of Cups. The Queen of Pentacles would really represent kind of like digging for gold. It would really represent really doing your research and finding the resources. So I kind of feel, and really I've been saying this for a long time, that I feel like that's one of the biggest challenges right now is that we all have really good ideas, but being able to execute on those ideas, maybe we don't have the money, maybe we don't have the people, the places, the things in our life that we feel like we need to get started, but guess what? We have to do it anyway. That's the whole point of like the astrology right now as far as I'm concerned. You have this cracked cup. It says dissatisfaction with life, and you have this kite card says vacation. Maybe you just need a vacation if you're feeling dissatisfied with your life in general. Maybe you just need a break, or maybe you need to take a break with this energy. But, for the most part, I kind of feel this is talking about looking for solutions with that Queen of Pentacles. You have the 6 of Wands, the Queen of Pentacles, and the Emperor. Queen of Pentacles is clearly your most important card here. She's showing up as the center card. Queen of Pentacles is a card of resourcefulness and digging into your resources. I really feel that on a very, 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 very strong level for you, much stronger than anyone else. I really feel that, basically where there's a will, there's a way. I'm kind of surprised the Chariot didn't show up in your reading, although you have the 6 of Wands, which is kind of similar, and I really feel if you want something, it's possible, even if it seems impossible, but you're going to have to do the work to find the resources, whether it's money, people, places, things, like I said, but they exist is what this says. I mean, I really feel you're in the boss energy. You have the Emperor here, which can represent Aries, but I kind of really feel this is like your energy in this reading, just looking at all the cards here. I feel like you're ready to boss up. I feel like you are bossing up. You're ready to take advantage of things like positive, opportunity. I feel like you're creating your own luck. All this stuff is popping into my head, but, I really feel you need to like embrace it with the Emperor. Normally the Emperor is sitting, right? And he's sitting, he has his robe on, but he has armor on underneath. It kind of represents the fact that he's ready to go at a moment's notice. I feel that energy for you where it's almost like a spring. I feel like you need to be ready to jump on something. You have the 6 of Wands as well. Six of Wands is, of course, a card of success and good things coming in for you. I do get a very driven feeling here. I feel like you are very driven at this time. I feel like you're very focused, kind of like ready to go, ready to make things happen. My only concern for you is the Broken Cup card. You also have this Pale card at the end, which says time to get out of a situation. But I really don't feel that. What I feel here is that there could just be, like, don't allow little tiny disappointments to throw you off your path is what I feel like this is encouraging you to do. I feel like sometimes we start a project and maybe we're like, we don't think we have the money, or maybe we run into a problem with money and then we're like, oh, that's it. I can't do anything. I feel like this is saying, no, don't stop. Keep going. Be driven. Focus on the goal and find a way. I feel no matter what, there is a way out of pretty much anything. You have this Pale card next. It says, time to get out of a situation. You have this Tree card that says affairs with your family. Obviously, if you're having problems with your family, it might be time to, put down some boundaries or to move on from that situation. For others, I kind of feel like this is a person you could have had a family with, maybe that you're putting boundaries up. I get a jealous energy here. It's kind of interesting because they don't show up in this reading. I would just say, I'd protect yourself from exes at this time, Mercury retrograde. You might be finding your emperor or your empress, take it how it resonates. And, there might be a person here who's like a little bit jealous. That's what I'm feeling on these two cards. And you don't want them messing up your day. You have the Queen of Cups, the Eight of Swords, and the Seven of Cups. I kind of feel this is you needing to focus on your emotions. I feel every single person has had the Queen or the King of Cups in the readings this week, and this has been happening a lot in September, and I've been telling pretty much everyone that I feel like we could be manifesting things very, very quickly in our life, but we need to make sure that we're focusing on our emotions. I feel we're going to attract things with our emotions. I also feel like, if our emotions aren't right, we're going to attract the wrong things. So make sure to focus on kind of the things that you want at this time. You have this Eight of Swords. Eight of Swords is self-imposed restriction. I definitely don't think it's a time where you should be restricting yourself. I feel like it's a time where you should be focusing on love, abundance, and I'm not talking about love as in a person. I'm talking about loving yourself or just the energy of love, right? Like being in love with nature or something that exists that makes you happy, right? And I feel like all those feelings will kind of set you free with the Eight of Swords. Eight of Swords also says don't focus only on one way of doing things, which you always comes up for you, Leo. I would focus on multiple solutions to anything that you're dealing with. And you have the Seven of Cups. This is actually my favorite Seven of Cups because she's pointing to one star. And the Seven of Cups can represent kind of dreaming of how things could be or imagining something that you desire, but you're kind of looking at all the cups. You're seeing there are, good things in those cups and there are bad things in some of those cups on a traditional Seven of Cups. And so it's you see the good and the bad in any situation. But she's pointing to one thing, and that's the trick with the Seven of Cups. We just need to focus on what we want and kind of manifest it in reality instead of just dreaming about it, which, the Seven of Cups is all about being spoiled for choice, but also just imagining everything, basically. So, that's kind of what I feel here with that Seven of Cups energy. But we're going to clarify through here with the regular Radiant Rider Waite Tarot, and we're going to see what's going on here. And with the Empress, you have the Three of Swords. I would be careful of anyone from the past, for sure. I would also watch your health with the Three of Swords because, a lot of people have been getting the Three of Swords, and Mars retrograde, towards the end of the year, end of October starts. I don't know. I would just be careful of your health. And again, I'm not a doctor, so do not take this as medical advice. With the Ace of Cups, you have the Magician. Yeah, manifesting things very quickly. I just wanted to look and see. Again, you have that Seven of Cups, also kind of a manifesting card. The Magician, he has mastery over all the suits on the table in front of him. So, he can manifest and create with pretty much any of the tools that he has at his disposal. So I feel like for a lot of you that you need to use your tools, or there are tools that you have at your disposal that you're not using. And, I really feel like you need to use that. Use your tools, basically. With the Page of Wands, you have the Ten of Pentacles. Ten of Pentacles is pretty much everything you want in your life here, Leo. Love it. Ten of Pentacles is a tree of life. And again, it kind of represents building or leaving a legacy, having everything you want. Again, a lot of people have been getting this legacy, leaving a legacy type energy. To me, it's Uranus and Taurus. Uranus and Taurus has a lot to do with our values and things that we value. And so, it's if you value financial security and having a family, then obviously that's building and leaving a legacy. It's the same thing, right? But we're all different. So building and leaving a legacy could be something different. You could be wanting to write a book so that you can leave your mark on this world, for example. Could be anything, but whatever it is, I feel like you're working towards it. I always say that Ten of Pentacles, as good of a card as it is, and I love it, great for finances. I definitely see improvements in your finances. It's something that we build. It's not something that, people always say to me. They're like, you said with the Ten of Pentacles that my life was going to be perfect. I'm like, never said that, number one. Number two, it's something that you have to work towards, and it's something that takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. So, just keep that in mind. With the Six of Wands, you have the Temperance card. Temperance is a card of patience. It's also a card of turning one thing into another. It's a card of alchemy. So I do kind of feel like that you could be turning a situation around. I'm wondering if some of you recently went back to an ex, like before the retrograde actually, or maybe you went back to a person that you've never been with, never were really kind of like with before. And so, I kind of feel like this revitalization as far as love is concerned. Maybe that's what that Three of Swords is talking about, is a past heartbreak, and now you're like back with a person. I don't know, kind of weird. It doesn't really feel like an ex to me, so I don't know what to say about that. But, I don't know. Looks like you're turning it around. With the Queen of Pentacles, you have the Queen of Wands. See, I feel this is a good energy for you, Queen of Wands energy at this time. She's very open and willing to receive, number one. She's willing to kind of do the work, whatever she needs to do, and she doesn't care how she gets there. She has a black cat on her card. In the times of tarot, black cats were considered very unlucky, but the whole point of her black cat is that she doesn't care what anyone thinks. So she doesn't care how she accomplishes things, and she doesn't care what people, about people's opinions about how she lives her life or anything like that. She just lives her life how she wants to. I feel there's a lot of power in that for you. Maybe you've cared too much about what people think, or maybe you care too much about people's opinions, but I feel like you're starting to kind of embrace that Queen of Wands energy. With the Emperor, you have the Moon card here. Really, I feel like you need to not stop. The Moon, I always say the Moon does not say stop anywhere on the card. It says keep going down this path to these mountains. Mountains in the tarot represent accomplishments and achievements. So I feel there are a lot of like achievements or a lot of accomplishments coming in for you. But I feel like you need to keep going down this path. I feel like you need to see something through to the end, whatever it is that you're working on. I kind of feel, I'm also getting kind of a weird message here. Like, I feel like you are the moon. Look at this moon. See this moon? Its face is looking at the path right here. I kind of feel that some of you, I'm not saying you're going back to the drawing board, right? But if you're working on a Ten of Pentacles project, like a business, writing a book, or doing any of those things, I kind of feel like the moon is saying, like, what were your original ideas? What was the original plan of what you're working on? Same for those of you in career or have a job. Like, I feel like you need to look at it and say, like, what did I originally want? Because I feel like a little bit of a just kind of revisiting your original plan will kind of help you gain perspective and is going to lead to a lot of success, clearly. With the Queen of Cups, you have the Knight of Swords, someone rushing into your life. Again, I would not rush a relationship at this time for sure. I feel Mercury retrograde, obviously. So maybe you're wanting to rush towards a person. Some of you might have your eye on a person and that you find very attractive. I would take your time. I feel like it'd be fine to reach out to this person, or if you're already talking to a person, I feel like that's fine, is what I would say here. But I just feel maybe you're dealing with a person who's a little crabby, right here. They could be a Cancer, could be any sign. General reading. I'm not, I feel like it could be any sign, but I'm very focused on that, the crayfish on this moon card. I feel like you could be dealing with a person who still has on some like emotional armor, maybe from a past relationship. So I just like take your time here. With the Eight of Swords, you have the Three of Wands, card of expansion. See, Eight of Swords is a card of restriction. Three of Wands is a card of expansion. But how do you expand with the Three of Wands? Well, you have to get on these boats out here. The original story with the Three of Wands is that he's looking at that water, and you can see that it's a golden color. It almost looks like the desert. So he's looking at what he believes is the desert, but when he looks closer, he sees the ships. It kind of represents looking at something and thinking that nothing is there, right? Feeling like there's no opportunity, but actually seeing the opportunity. This type of message has come up for a lot of people recently, so I feel like there is a lot of opportunity in places where maybe we don't think there is opportunity, but if we educate ourselves, if we learn, or if we look closer, then we probably will see an opportunity. So, I know it's very general, but I would look at whatever it is you're working on in work, business, career. Even if you're retired, you could be working on personal projects, and I'd be looking closer. With the Seven of Cups, you have the Five of Swords. I feel like you need to take a risk. Five of Swords, number one, some of you could definitely be dealing with a separation. And again, I wouldn't go rushing back into a relationship if you are. But for the most part, this is telling me that you need to take a risk to grab onto one of those cups, really. Five of Swords to me is a card of risk. To me, it is a card of taking a risk. That's how I read it. And, I know that that's not really what it means, but again, I read intuitively, and, as I always say, I think my results speak for themselves. You have this empathy card wanting to fly out there, so I feel it would be a good time to tap into your powers of empathy and, all that other good stuff, but let's see. We're going to clarify now with the Oracle of the Radiant Sun. With the Empress and the Three of Swords, you have this charity card here. See, I feel like you're in a very giving place. And, here's the interesting thing that's popping into my head is I feel like you need to be willing to receive as well. I know a lot of you Leos. I have a lot of Leos in my life, my dad, my brother, and, cousins, even my aunt's a Leo. So, I know the whole Leo thing, right? And what I would say here is that I feel like you need to receive. I feel like you need to be, regardless of what gender you are, I feel like you need to enter into that Empress and the Queen of Wands energy. Because Queen of Wands, believe it or not, she represents receptive energy. She represents willing to receive energy from something. Could be another person, could be a business, whatever. Maybe you've been chasing something for too long, Knight of Swords, right? You've been in this chasing energy. And I feel like you need to enter into this receptive energy. I think the charity is you being nice to yourself, is what I would say here. With the Ace of Cups and the Magician, you have this idealism card. How do I feel about this for you? I feel like me, which is interesting. I consider myself, I don't want to talk about myself too much here, Leo, but I consider myself very idealistic, meaning that I think very positively, which has screwed me many times in life, right? But at the same time, it's also made me very successful, not to toot my own horn here, but it's I've definitely disappointed myself many, many times by being too idealistic. And you know what I've learned to do is, at one point in my life, I got angry and I said, I'm not going to be idealistic anymore. I hate the world. I was just an angry little troll, as I always say, right? And I was just miserable. But, at the same time, then I said, no, I'm going to continue to be positive. I'm going to continue to shine my light. And I'm going to continue, believe it or not, I'm going to continue to hope and look for the best. But I'm just going to remove the expectations part of it, right? So I still am idealistic. I still enter into situations thinking that things are going to turn out way better than they do. But I'm not going to stop. And some things work out and some things don't. I think that just I've accepted it. And so I don't get as disappointed as I used to. But I don't know. There's something there about being positive, right? And I think it hurts sometimes. And maybe that's why people aren't positive. But at the same time, I'm not going to change. So I don't know. There's something in there for you. Maybe not. With the Page of Wands and the Ten of Pentacles, you have this assertion card. I kind of feel like you need to be more assertive. I'm getting this between the Magician, the Ten of Pentacles, and the Emperor. I feel like this is saying the more you really grab onto one of those cups with the Seven of Cups of what you want, the more successful you're going to be. So I would grab onto it. That is the Sun in Aries, by the way, and you also have the Emperor here. So some of you could be dealing with an Aries. With the or someone who has Aries in their chart. Could be a Venus in Aries, I'm getting. So some of you could be attracting a person who has Venus in a fire sign or Jupiter in a fire sign or something. With the Six of Wands and the Temperance card, you have this Patience card. So I feel like you have been patient, is what I would say, just in general. I feel she kind of looks like the Empress as well. Isn't that interesting? She kind of looks like the Empress, this lady right here. So I feel like you've been very patient. And this is you, Leo, right here. Even though this card represents Jupiter and Virgo, you have Leo and then Taurus. Some of you could be dealing with a Taurus as well. I feel like you've been patient. I feel like you've been waiting for certain changes in your life. With the Queen of Pentacles and the Queen of Wands, you have this acquisition card, yes. Definitely divine counterparts. You're the third sign that has had this card this week. Definitely could be attracting a divine counterpart, I feel. Look at Sun in Taurus right here. So could be a Taurus. Could be any sign. Take it how it resonates. Could be a person with Taurus in their chart. But I feel like you could be attracting a divine counterpart. I would focus on, again, receptive energy, you receiving from this person. That doesn't mean you're not going to give in the relationship or anything like that, but I feel like you give too much, or you have in the past. And, I kind of feel this is much more balanced. I think the whole equal relationship thing is BS in the first place. I don't think there's such thing as an equal relationship. I think that we shouldn't be taking out a piece of paper and being like, oh, I did this, so they have to do this, right? I think that they go back and forth. I think sometimes one person gives more than the other, as long as it's goes this way, then it goes this way. As long as there's kind of a more back and forth type of energy, I think that's much better than equal. There's no, I think it's almost impossible. And that's what this feels like to me. But I kind of feel like you need to focus on making sure that this person is, that you're allowing this person to give to you. I don't know. It seems important for whatever reason. With the Emperor and the Moon, you have this exaltation card. Ooh, I love this. I feel like you are in your power at this time. I feel like you're just kind of embracing success. And I feel like you're bracing for success is what I feel like saying. It's almost like there's, I almost feel this like wave of energy. I almost feel like this hot flash. I was gonna say, I don't know if you ever had hot flashes. I don't know if any of you have ever taken like niacin, for example. That's what I'm feeling right now in my body. There's like a hot flash type of energy. So I kind of feel like there's like a wave coming in for you of abundance. I would capture that wave. I would ride that wave. With the Queen of Cups and the Knight of Swords, you have this health card. So I would definitely pay attention to your health. Pretty much every single person that I've read for this week has had something about health. So take care of yourself for sure. And don't rush with that Knight of Swords. With the Eight of Swords and the Three of Wands, you have this achievement card. Clearly, some major achievements coming in for you. But I feel like you have to do it. I feel you have to go through it, which is interesting. Like, put the work in. With the Seven of Cups and the Five of Swords, you have this secrets card. I feel like you've been hurt by secrets in the past. I would be careful of jumping to conclusions as well. What I mean by that is like maybe you felt like a person had secrets in the past and you were right. And maybe now you're almost like overcorrecting in a relationship. So I'd be careful of overcorrection, meaning maybe there's a new person. Maybe they have no secrets at all, but maybe they do just like a tiny little thing that kind of reminds you of the past. But I would just communicate is what I would say here. I feel like that'll solve all the problems. But pretty good reading here, Leo. We're going to pull 3 yes or no question cards. We're going to do 1, 2, and 3 right here. 1, 2, 3. Feel free to pause this reading if you need more time to think of your questions. But for question number 1, you have the Seven of Cups. Pick your one cup, Leo, and make it happen. For question number 2, you have the Seven of Pentacles. 2 sevens. Internal fears don't exist. Let go of your fears. I would also say yes. I think you're thinking about changing direction. If you're thinking about changing your direction, hell yes. For question number 3, you have the King of Wands. Yes. I feel like you're in a very strong, confident position. Really, overall, I feel like this reading is encouraging you to embrace like strength and confidence. I feel like if you do that, you're just going to be very, very successful. So thank you for being here, Leo. Really appreciate it. Make sure to watch your sun, moon, and rising for a full picture of what's going on for you at this time. But thank you, and definitely enjoy your week.